In the next 7 hours, I'm taking on the challenge of touring some of San Diego's most well-known neighborhoods. We're starting off here, right at the coast, and then we're gonna work our way up inland, all the way up to the northernmost part of the city. By the end of this journey, you're gonna have a pretty good picture of what it's really like to live in San Diego. Everything from coastal luxury to family-centric suburbs. Hi, I'm Jamie Lennon, and I create videos talking about all things San Diego. I'm also a realtor, so if you're looking to make your move here more permanent, know that I can help you with that. All right, we have a big day ahead of us, so let's jump in. Cold brew black. She means business. And it also means that I gotta keep myself going because this is going to be a long video. We gotta get this done before the sun sets. Our first stop today, downtown San Diego. So it is currently 11:13 a.m. 13 minutes past when I wanted to start, but I'm doing pretty good actually. So we're in downtown San Diego right now. You have to look at downtown as split up into really like 5 areas. Some people argue 6, but let's just say 5. So you have Gaslamp, you have East Village, Little Italy, Marina District, and Cortez Hill. So those are gonna be the main parts of the downtown area. So I'm gonna go head into downtown. So right now I'm parked at Seaport Village, and I'm gonna show you around the area, the various areas, to give you a sense of what our downtown feels like. Is it a big city? Not really, but it has a lot to offer, and it's our city, so we love it. Let's go check it out. So the first stop that I'm heading to in downtown is the Gaslamp District. So this is the historic district in the downtown area, and it gets its name because it's lined with gas lamps, which is really cool. They don't light them, but they are still there. You're gonna find a lot of older architecture here, so a lot of Victorian age architecture. So it just has a very different feel to it. Older, yes, but very cool. So you get brick buildings, just really cool lights and lamps that line the streets. But this is where you go for nightlife. This is where a lot of the bars and the clubs are. You have the ballpark, which ballpark is technically East Village, but it's right here. So everything's gonna be very walkable. If you are somebody who's looking for more of that downtown feel, to live somewhere walkable, this is it. This is where you get your high-rise, condos, apartments, and you get your coffee shop right at the bottom of it. If you're looking for somewhere where you're just constantly around people and things to do, this is also where you come. So there's so much that downtown has to offer, and it's not a one-shoe-fits-all kind of place because there's so many different neighborhoods within the downtown. So Gaslamp is going to be a little bit noisier. So I always say this too, because the buildings are older, they're not going to be as insulated as you would find in, let's say, a newer high-rise built in East Village, which a lot of them are newer there. So if noise is a factor for you, I probably would not get an apartment or condo on 5th Avenue, let's say, because that's definitely where all the clubs are. But if you want to live close to the action, this is where you come. And they have the streets blocked off, especially during peak hours and peak season, so everybody can just walk in the streets. There's tons of good restaurants down here, and it's just really great. So Gaslamp is very well known from people everywhere, not just San Diegans, for good reason. It's very nostalgic, very cool. Younger crowd, I would say. The people that come here are a little bit younger. I remember when I moved back to San Diego, I was like, I want to go out for a night out, and I went to the Gaslamp, and I was like, it's fun, but I felt a little old. I will say that I felt a little too old to be there, and I'm not that old, but that's just the feeling I had. So it definitely brings in more of a younger crowd, and a lot of college students live here as well. Because let's face it, if you want to party, this is pretty much where you come. That's what you do. The absolute best place in the Gaslamp, or my favorite place in the Gaslamp, is Shout House. This is so much fun. It has so much energy. So it's a dueling piano bar, and you can reserve tables. I recommend doing that because getting a spot is really tough. But it's really great for birthdays, for any celebration, or just for a fun night out. They interact with the audience. You can request songs, they bring you up on stage. Trust me, if you're looking for a really fun night out or somewhere to celebrate a birthday, check out Shout House. You won't be disappointed. Every time I come here, I leave with such a smile because it's just so interactive. It's so fun. And it's right here in the Gaslamp District. Okay, so next up is East Village. So East Village has gone through quite a change in recent years because a lot of developers have been buying up the land and building these gorgeous high-rise apartments. The only caveat is it's not the cleanest area of the downtown area. I do see that changing. I absolutely see that changing. I mean, if you don't have hope, then what do you have? But East Village that has some of the tallest buildings in downtown and the nicest buildings with the best views, quite frankly. But heading out of your building, you kind of are slapped with reality going, okay, most of the homeless are in this area. And I've talked about homeless in a lot of my videos, and I just have to make mention. It's not all over the county by any means. It's really the downtown area and the beach communities, but not all the beach communities. In La Jolla, for instance, I don't think I've ever seen somebody living on the streets in La Jolla, but Ocean Beach, Pacific Beach, that's a different story. So yeah, just because you're moving to San Diego does not mean that everywhere you go, you're gonna see homeless. That's just not the reality at all. It's not the case. It's mainly here, and it's a lot in East Village. So I'm gonna go drive you through the streets so you can kind of see for yourself what I mean. I always tell people, if you're looking in East Village, try to stay west of 11th Street. So 11th and then 10th and 8th. Those streets are better, but then when you start getting east of 11th Street, so heading in especially 14th, 15th, and 16th, but it's not as nice. And I want to be totally real with you. And that's what I'm trying to do. So East Village, great apartments, beautiful apartments, and the most affordable apartments. So you can get a really nice one bedroom for under $3,000 here, which you really can't get. You definitely can't get it in Little Italy. Cortez Hill, it's not gonna be as nice and it's not gonna be as new. So that's the trade-off here. So obviously Petco Park being in East Village is a huge bonus to this area, especially if you love going to cheap ball games because, well, as long as you don't eat or drink there, it's very affordable. It could be a really fun day out. But you also have the train here. So the train runs right through here, so very convenient. You can even park your car at the station in Mission Valley and take the train into downtown and avoid paying, wait for it, $60 to park your car. And that's not overnight, just FYI. So that's a really good tip for people. Don't drive into downtown if you're planning on spending time here. Park your car at Mission Valley, take the train down here, easy peasy, walk around, hop on the train, go get your car. It's so much better, or Uber, obviously, but Uber's gotten really expensive too. So I'm here to save you money. And I'm here to provide you the best local tips. And that's one of them. Definitely saved the best to last, and you know it's got to be good because I got out of my car to record this. It's very cold and very windy today, but we're in Little Italy, which is just one of the best places in all of San Diego, especially if you're looking for a downtown feel and vibe. This is it. So there's a lot happening in this area. This is the center of restaurants, so cuisine, really great food. You have Ironside, Barbusa. There's so many, I can't even think of what they all right now. Isola, which is my favorite spot for pizza and happy hour. Pizza is one of my favorites, best that I have found in San Diego since I've been back. But this just has a really cool vibe to it. It's different than the rest of downtown. There are some high rises. This is more mid-rise, but there has been a couple new buildings pop up that are, you know, some of the tallest that are in the downtown area. So that's pretty cool. So they are changing the vibe a little bit here. But this is where you have the farmers market. So every Saturday, it's huge. It spans about 6 blocks. So you have the major one on Saturday, and then you have one for more of like the locals on Wednesdays, which is really cool. So you do have options there. And then where I'm at, so this is the Piazza della Famiglia, and this is kind of like the center of Little Italy. So you will find a lot of events held in this area. They do wine tastings. This is where the farmers market runs through here as well. There's a food hall that has a lot of great places to eat. The burgers are especially really good. And then there's the Not Your Tacos, which are really cool. They got like mac and cheese tacos, so something cool to check out. But this is where all the action happens. You have salsa dancing here. You'll find wine tastings. There's going to be a lot of street vendors that will come out for various reasons. I know they do like a boutique one where they have an event where boutique owners from all over the place will come and sell their jewelry and clothes and what have you. So really good location for just where all the action's at. And then of course you're walking distance to Waterfront Park, which is a huge bonus to being here because there's a lot of events that are held at the park. But not only that, it's just a really big and beautiful park. So if you're looking for a calm Sunday afternoon, you want to read a book and lay in the sun, that's the place to do it. And you're right across from the water. They also do yoga. You can find a bunch of stuff. I mean, I can literally go on. I lived here for a while too. So this is like my home away from home. I try to come down here as much as I possibly can because I love the entire vibe of Little Italy. So it's the big reason of why people love living here is you're just a short walk to the San Diego Harbor. This is where you have all the boats. You have the Maritime Museum right here, which is a really cool boat. I did my 5th grade field trip on this boat, but really cool. There's a lot of restaurants and local shops all along the Embarcadero, which if you take this road all the way down, you end up in Seaport Village, and you can keep going and you can end up at the Convention Center and even down towards Barrio Logo and where the bridge is that takes you over to Coronado. So really nice stretch right here that I think it's like 3 miles or so, takes you all through the downtown area. But regardless, wherever you live in this area, you can walk to the Embarcadero. It's a short walk depending on where you live. But this is the big bonus, is being on the water. But behind me is Waterfront Park. That's what I mentioned before. They just had an EDM festival. It's like the CSSR festival there over the weekend, so they are currently cleaning it up right now, so I can't really show you. But Waterfront, beautiful big park, one of the best that we have in the county. Yeah, right here. I mean, what's not to love? Minus the wind. I don't love the wind. All right, well, that wraps up our tour of the downtown area. Now let's travel back in time because we are going to go check out San Diego's historic neighborhoods. And these are going to be the neighborhoods surrounding Balboa Park. We have now made it at our second stop-ish. It's now 12:45, so I'm a little bit behind, but downtown, it's a big area and that's a lot to cover. But I'm in another big area, and this can be considered the metro part of San Diego, or just the neighborhoods that surround Balboa Park. So this is going to include Bankers Hill, Mission Hills, Hillcrest, University Heights, North Park, South Park, and Golden Hill. So I just made a big old circle around Balboa Park. These neighborhoods are so unique. So this is the start of it all. These homes are built in the 20s, the 30s. There are some older homes that were built in the 1910s. So you get a lot of craftsman, Spanish style properties here. Smaller lots. You do see a lot of like multifamily units, especially in North Park and Hillcrest. So a lot of those single family homes have been torn down, and think like 4plexes, 8plexes have been built in their place. So I always say parking here can be challenging. It's more challenging here than a lot of other areas, and that's because there's just more cars and there's not enough parking, there's not enough garages. Most of these homes are built with 1-car garages, with the exception of Mission Hills. So all these neighborhoods are very unique in their own way. Bankers Hill is right in the direct flight path. You get a lot of Victorian homes here, but you also have to deal with airplanes flying right over your house. I always say though, if you are north of 6th Avenue, you're typically in the clear. It's everything south of 6th Avenue. That's when you get the planes directly over your property. So north of 6th Avenue, you're pretty solid. But you're also very close to Little Italy out in Bankers Hill. You have restaurants like Mr. A's. It's one of the best restaurants, and it's in Bankers Hill. North of Bankers Hill, you have Mission Hills. This is the most affluent neighborhood in this area. This is where you have a lot of beautifully custom built homes. These are the historic homes as well, so a lot of them have the historic label from like 1912, 1920. There is historic significance to some of these properties as well. So Mission Hills is probably one of the best neighborhoods we have in San Diego. You get bigger homes here, so think 3,000-4,000 square feet, sometimes larger. They have character. There's no cookie cutter homes in Mission Hills. So Mission Hills is very clean. It's very charming. You have a little downtown area on Fort Stockton, and you have University Avenue that runs all through these neighborhoods. So it's going to start in Mission Hills, and it's going to take you all the way through past North Park. So If we go east of Mission Hills, we have Hillcrest, which is the center of the LGBTQ community. So you have a lot of pride events. You have the Pride Parade, which happens every July. And it's just more centered around the LGBT community. So you got a lot of pride flags, very colorful homes as well, which is always really cool to see. It can get congested in Hillcrest because parking is so limited here. I would probably say one of the worst areas for public parking. Even going to the grocery store can be tough, so just think about that. And then we have north of Hillcrest, we have University Heights. University Heights is a quieter version of Hillcrest. You're also backed up against canyons, so you do get some really awesome views living in University Heights. Now we're heading into North Park. So North Park is just going to be east of University Heights, and you have El Cajon Boulevard and University Avenue, which are the two main downtown areas. So you have a lot of restaurants, a ton of bars, really great nightlife. A lot of people are drawn to North Park for the nightlife in particular. Again, the same type of homes, a little bit smaller in North Park than you're gonna get in other areas, but charming craftsman style, historic homes. We love to see it. If you're looking for a home with character, this is going to be the place for you. Now, south of North Park, we head into South Park. South Park is going to be quieter than North Park. I would say it's more centered around families. You're going to see more households with children than you would in North Park, let's say. You get beautiful tree-lined streets. There's a lot of canyons that are running through South Park, so you get canyon views, and you're just surrounded by more nature there, I would say. Now we have Golden Hill, which Golden Hill doesn't get enough credit. It's not talked about enough, but we need to talk about Golden Hill. Golden Hill is south of the Balboa Park, so it's right below Balboa Park and bordering South Park. This is where you get the Victorian style homes. The ultimate Victorian style homes are found here. So really beautiful homes, older homes. This was the heart of the Victorian era. This is where the affluent lived during the Victorian era, was in Golden Hill. Now over the years, it's, you could tell it's aged and it's gone through. You have new establishments coming in. It's bordering not the nicest area in San Diego. So we do see some of that kind of falling into Golden Hill. But regardless, it's still a really beautiful neighborhood. You get awesome shots into downtown San Diego, which is cool. So you can see the whole skyline. You can see out to the bay. You can see out to Coronado. You can see Coronado Bridge. So, because it is up on hills. So you do get really cool views in Golden Hill. But those are the areas that surround Balboa Park. This is the metro part of San Diego. One of the more unique places to live in San Diego. If you like craftsman homes, this is the area that you're gonna find them. All these Victorian homes, this is Golden Hill. And Golden Hill is not that large, but it packs a punch. So you're very close to downtown San Diego. Let's see if you can see it. It's all the way off in the distance somewhere. It's down there. So you're very close to downtown. You have some really cool restaurants here. So this area is definitely gentrifying. We have seen it. We have a Dark Horse Coffee that came in. It's relatively newer. You're seeing more apartments being built here, newer, modern type luxury apartments. Luigi's Pizza, that's a favorite in this area. Luigi's has Pizzeria Luigi's is amazing pizza, so gotta check that place out. Everybody that lives here knows about it, goes to it. But the architecture here is what really sets it apart, and the location. So obviously, if you want to live close to downtown but not be in downtown, this is pretty much going to be your best option, this and Bankers Hill. But it's the homes here. That's what makes this area so incredibly unique because, they're everywhere. Every street has Victorian era homes. So this used to be the spot back in the day. It went through a little bit of a rough patch, but I think that it's getting a lot better than it was like 20 years ago. So we'll see what the future holds for Golden Hill. But another bonus, again, you're right by Balboa Park. Very close to it, in fact. Balboa Park is just north of here. But yeah, these homes, they're stunning. For those who love craftsman homes, home with character, a little bit of history, Golden Hill's a pretty cool place to check out. I have now made it to Point Loma. It is 2:20, so I am way behind schedule. We're gonna just see how this goes. But Point Loma is really cool. It has rich history. This is home of the Cabrillo National Monument, which Juan Cabrillo was the first settler of California. Yeah, the whole state of California. Right here in Point Loma, there is a monument in honor of his name and his discovery. You have to pay to get in, but it's absolutely stunning because it's untouched land. You have the cemetery there, so as you're driving to the National Monument, it kind of gets a little emotional. And it's a cemetery of all of our fallen soldiers. So Point Loma has big military presence here, especially with the Navy. So you have the Liberty Station, which was the Navy's old training center that shut down, forever ago, but they rebuilt it back in the 90s. They started rebuilding it. It opened in the early 2000s. So you have Liberty Station, which has a bunch of shops and restaurants. You have Liberty Public Market, which is one of the only public markets in San Diego. So that's also really neat. It's a really cool place to hang out. There's miniature golf. There's a 9-hole golf and movie theater, shopping, anything. They think it was right there. So even though this is a beach community, there are no beaches. There's no actual beaches in Point Loma. The closest beach you have is out in Ocean Beach, which is part of Point Loma. It's Point Loma's neighbor, which is Ocean Beach. So you're not too far from it. And Ocean Beach is cool because you have farmers markets, and then you have eclectic shops and other fabulous restaurants that has like a more free-spirited vibe. But it's right here, so it's going to be neighbor to Point Loma. So because you have the San Diego Bay on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other, it's huge for boating. So a lot of boating communities here. That's why you have the yacht clubs that are here, because this is where they're all sailing out in this harbor. They leave out of Shelter Island for the most part. Most of them do. The bigger ships will leave out of San Diego Bay near downtown, but Shelter Island is where most of the boating tours are going to happen. So if you come to San Diego and you do a sunset cruise, you're going to be meeting them in Shelter Island to meet on the boat and go on the cruise. But very hilly terrain, so opportunity for some amazing views in Point Loma. The homes are spectacular. You have custom-built homes. You have charming ranch-style properties built in the 50s. It doesn't have the historic craftsman homes that North Park and South Park has, but you can find a different mix here. So you can find mid-century modern homes, which you're not going to find in North Park. So just a really cool community. Like I said, beach community, but there's no beach, but you're close to Ocean Beach. So some people kind of lump them together, but they're two very different communities. But you do have the beach. And another thing you have here is sunset clips. So if you love to catch the sunset, get there early because everybody goes there to catch the sunset. But it's one of the most popular spots to get the view of the sunset over the West Coast. We made it. We are at our next stop, and it is 3:15. We're doing okay. Not the best sometimes, especially because we're about to hit some traffic at our next stop. But before we do that, let's talk about my good friend, PB, or Pacific Beach, which is one of the best beach communities in San Diego. And that's because the vibe and the energy here is unmatched. 100% unmatched. There's so much to do here. It's such a fun place to hang out. It definitely draws in a younger crowd. So a lot of young professionals, college grads, they move here because they want to have a social life. And this is where you come to do it. So right where I'm located, this is on the bay side. Opposite of where I'm at is going to be the Pacific Ocean. So this is technically referred to as Crown Point, this whole area right here. This is a great area because you can be on the bay or you can be closer to the ocean. I was actually on the ocean side and it was really windy, so I decided to come here, and it's a light breeze, but not as bad over there. So that's a good pointer. This is a really great beach. There's tons of volleyball nets here, so especially during peak season, you see a lot of people come out here and play volleyball. This beach gets pretty crowded, and parking is really tough right here because all throughout here, it's just street parking in neighborhoods. There's no actual parking lots. There's one at this park, but it's teeny tiny. So just plan ahead because parking it's pretty brutal in peak season. But PB it's a staple for San Diego. You have your oceanfront properties. You don't get as many views here as you would in, let's say, La Jolla, because it's not as hilly. So PB is more flat than anything, but you still get your opportunity to be close to the ocean, to live close to the ocean. And price per square foot for a home here is a lot less than La Jolla. And you're close to La Jolla too. So this can be a great option for somebody who's looking to live near the beach, save a little bit of money, but more importantly, live somewhere where you feel like you can just be your social self, because there's so many cool people to meet and there's so many cool things to do. All the best bars and restaurants, a lot of them are right here. Okay, now we gotta move quick. We gotta make it to our next stop. Hopefully traffic is not that bad. One can hope, but I'm excited to show you the next one on our list. We have made it. We are a little bit more inland, just a little bit. We are now in Carmel Valley. It is 3:40 on the dot, so we're doing fairly all right. But this is one of the most prominent, affluent suburbs of San Diego. So Carmel Valley was built up in the 80s, but there are some newer subdivisions, so you can find homes that were built in 2015 or so. And this is just a large master plan community with various suburbs. They are tract homes, so it's all tract homes throughout here. You have your local parks, you have great shopping. You have One Paseo, which is a fairly new shopping center that's located in Carmel Valley. You also have the Del Mar Highlands Ranch shopping center, and then you're also close to Del Mar. You're very close to Del Mar, so you're close to the beaches without paying that high, I'm living by the beach price. But what attracts people to this area are the schools. Because it's so centered around families, they have great schools. So you are in the Del Mar School District and also the San Diego School District, which is ranked the top school district in the county. So of course, a lot of families are doing whatever they can to get their kids into the schools here. The homes are big, the homes are beautiful, it's very clean. There's tons of parks for your kids to play at. Another great thing about the location, aside from being near Del Mar and all the beaches, is you're right off the freeway, so it's very conveniently located next to Highway 5 and also off the 56. So Highway 56, which if you take that, you can head inland on the 15 freeway, which heads you into more center of the county. So very convenient being along Highway 5 and Highway 56. Another great thing is it's near Sorrento Valley, which is the major job hub that we have in San Diego. So that's where you're gonna find a lot of the biotech and tech companies. Basically all the high paying jobs are gonna be found in Sorrento Valley. So you'll notice that a lot of execs and high level, engineers of that sort, they live in Carmel Valley, and this is where they come to raise their families. But it's a very clean neighborhood. I would say it's relatively safe, but please do your own research when it comes to that, especially when you're looking to purchase a home. Make sure that you are content with all the stats that you find on a particular neighborhood. This neighborhood is definitely tract homes, so it's all cookie cutter homes. And if that's something that's not really your vibe, then this might not be right for you. But if you want to live somewhere that's relatively new, that's very clean, that has great shopping nearby, and has some of the best schools, then Carmel Valley is honestly such a great option. Another thing to mention, something that I just noticed through driving through Carmel Valley, is there's a lot of cul-de-sacs, which attracts a lot of families because cul-de-sacs are known for being more safe, especially because your kids can play out in the street and not risk getting hit by a car. And homes that are actually in a cul-de-sac do tend to sell for more due to their desirability. So if you love the vibe of a cul-de-sac, like this more secure feeling, there's lots of them here. This is the all-American dream right here. Big house, quiet, charming neighborhood, kids playing in the streets. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure they do. All right, I am back in the car. We are heading to our last and final stop, and it's taking us all the way into North San Diego. So this is the northernmost part of San Diego, and it's technically part of North County as well. And we're going a little inland. So we're gonna be off Highway 15, and I'm gonna show you the community that attracts a lot of retirees and those that just want a more slowed down, peaceful community. Beautiful landscaping, beautiful homes. We're heading to Rancho Bernardo. Well, here we are, our last stop of the day. It is 5 to 5, so we are right on schedule, so good job. Where I am at, you might ask, I'm on the 9th hole of the country club at Rancho Bernardo, and the reason why I picked this spot is because Rancho Bernardo is so popular among golfers because there are tons of golf courses and country clubs surrounding Rancho Bernardo. One of the reasons I believe is because this area attracts a lot of retirees. So there are some of the biggest and most popular 55 and over communities are here. Ones like Seven Oaks and Oaks North are going to be the biggest. So a lot of retirees head over to Rancho Bernardo for just a quieter life. They get to just play golf all day. I know exactly what I'm gonna be doing when I retire, and it's definitely gonna be this. Maybe in Rancho Bernardo, maybe not, but this is a great option to kind of settle down and live a very slow-paced life. This does attract a lot of families as well, but I would say not as much as neighboring communities such as Poway or maybe Rancho Penasquitas even, but Rancho Bernardo does fall under the Poway School District, so it does have top schools as well. So this is one of San Diego's first master plan communities, which was built in the 60s and 70s. So you're gonna notice that most of the homes here are going to be your standard ranch style homes. They're gorgeous. And one cool thing about Rancho Bernardo is it's tucked off near the foothills and it's very hilly. So you get gorgeous views of all the surrounding hills. So location wise, Rancho Bernardo is going to be located inland off of Highway 15. So it does tend to get a little bit warmer out here because you are further inland. You're about 20 to 25 minutes to the coast, which if you hop on Highway 56, it'll take you straight into Del Mar, which is going to be the closest beach to Rancho Bernardo. Most people tend to move to Rancho Bernardo because they want a quieter, just kind of more peaceful life. There's not too much to do here. Of course, you have tons of shopping close by and you are close to the freeway, so it's very convenient for commuters or just traveling in and out of the area. But this is a quiet community. It really is. I know I've said that so many times, but that's the perfect way to explain Rancho Bernardo. It's very clean, it's very safe. Again, check the stats for yourself, but it is a very safe community as well. You have the swim and tennis club here, which is also very popular among its residents, and lots of golf. Lots and lots of golf. There's also hiking trails nearby. You have Lake Poway, which is not too far, and you have Poway, which is its next door neighbor as well. So because you're off of Highway 15, you can head up to Escondido, you can get to downtown San Diego, you can hop over to Carlsbad, San Diego, about 30 minutes. Escondido is just right up the road, but it's kind of a good central spot within Inland County. Well, that is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 5:45 and I get to end my day with a glass of Cabernet. So I'm here at Veranda, which is a restaurant at the Country Inn Golf Course in Rancho Bernardo. See? Lots of golf courses, but it ain't a bad view, I must say. This is a Mediterranean restaurant. I've never eaten here. The wine's good so far though, so that checks out. But today I showed you 6 of the most coveted neighborhoods in San Diego, but there are 52. So if you're still unsure and confused on where you want to live, I totally get it, but that's what I'm here for. So make sure you reach out to my team anytime because we want to help you make a smooth move out to the best in the West when the time is right. And I'm going to leave you the same way I always do, friends, and that is to stay classy. San Diego.